Hello, welcome. Today, we're continuing the main story quest. I actually bought the game for this. Been doing the free trial this whole time. If you're interested in the game, I highly recommend doing the free trial. Just don't do the Steam version. If you play on PC, get from the Square store. Anyway, on to the story. Oh wait. Okay. Good news, yo. We've had a stroke of luck in our search for that beacon. Apparently, our colleagues have stumbled across a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. A path I doubt we'd ever have found had the Ironworks and Sons not added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes of plenty down there, checking under rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner you can work out how to help our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes again, calling again. Meanwhile, we have no time to lose. There is a boat in North Silver Tier waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. Ooh, I like that new quest accepted sound. Jingle. Heading to the survey site, madame. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Ooh. The ironworks is out in first. Master Garland's orders. The Archons need our help. Next to that, even matters of the heart don't seem to matter. I dedicated no slavering beasts in the vicinity. My sister accepted. Detected. The towering edifice is the outer wall of the Crystal Tower's foundation, the labyrinth of the ancients, to be precise. The air here weighs heavily upon me. 'Tis little wonder, I suppose, when standing in the shadow of such an imposing structure. Yo, the search continues, but I have no doubt we shall find this beacon of yours. That was weird.
Look how many people there are!
Ah, voice acting. I missed you.
Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Oh, safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
My realm with my own.
The dawn's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant! There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight.
Away with you!
Your spirited accounts always comes in welcome.
We did everything right! Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this!
Your time has not yet come.
Ophelia.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
This guy.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler himself. What brings you into the wilds this time of night? Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me grandad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply.
Yeah.
Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it.
Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then. Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire, its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew, between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt, the one true struggle.
Halt! Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail? Do you take me for a fool? No such place exists. Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass. That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand. Ring and all.
Wait. Already? I heard Shadowbringers was dark, but
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort her to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private. Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons. I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you are still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact.
ah, okay. So it's another star.
As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions. That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. And though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try, for in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
Oh. And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. See, it's only -1. So they adjusted for people that got high-end gear from the last expansion, and okay, so it won't be too long before I get gear that like at least matches or exceeds what I have. That's cool. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetheryte, a convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection to the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you have done so, walk up these steps to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Catullus, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him in his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps. Take the exit to the left and simply continue straight forward along down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Brage, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. In seeking out my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Ah, very good. I can see the layout of the Crystarium owes more to the historic necessity of planning than planning, but I am sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars, and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you finish making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. So it's always day. That's cool. Full aetherite, by the way. By focusing your senses, he designed the flow of vastly distant currents of ether. Your connection to these energies is faint but stable and should allow teleportation to aetherites in the source. Alright, so first... Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized, too, thanks to us. In the mean, we work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Just don't go thinking it'll all be handed to you on a plate like those Elamorian layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff or indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? One of Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him. And any friends of his is a friend of ours. It is really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the crystal tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began concentrating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started growing up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you have aught to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Capitalists, and I'll find you a niche here in the crystalline mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Feel free to look around the workshop, but try not to distract the artisans. If they fall behind in their quotas, then everyone suffers for it. Ah! I just got this one. Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch. Alright. Excuse me, miss. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and well. What I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll, even, a scrap of scribbled on parchment. My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Warren, at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Oh, so you have an interest in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment and I'll fetch it for you. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair, make yourself more comfortable? On with the lessons then. A 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pulled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet, just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvent, and Norvent alone spared the fate of erasure. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Norvent's sky. Even now, they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I shall should be glad of the company. You exchange with Morin your thoughts about the flood. The contents of a book may be immutable, yet depending upon one's perspective, the lesson one learns may be different indeed. In other words, I am very much in favor of revisiting a story one has already read. Splendid. Allow me to allocate an appropriately eye-catching volume and we shall commence your revision. Wait, is this the same thing? Yep. Okay. Oh, my gil is over 300,000 for the first time. Feels good. I can actually start saving money now. Alright. That way. New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes gave you away. Welcome, my name is Bragi, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for measles such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. Must be a dialect I'm not familiar with. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a hume, and the taller one is an elf. That sturdy individual over there is a Galgent, while this one with the horns is a Dran. And then you have the large scaly scapes with long tails and knack for raising livestock. These would be the Zung. Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Ah, the same as Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. You don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry, should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. I didn't point them out earlier, but I'm sure you'll spot a fellow Mesto or another Ronso like me sooner rather than later. Even Feast, the Captain Lena, are that unusual in this city. Aye, the Castranium's long been a sanctuary for all manner of refugees, except maybe the dwarves. Those lot prefer to keep themselves to themselves, in my experience. Okay. Okay. Just one more. How do I get up there? Ah. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the self-same one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing, and although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. Okay. You've done as I requested and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time I fulfilled my half of the bargain and explained what has befallen your comrades. That is a conversation I would rather have in the privacy of my quarters. However, I must go ahead to the tower and organize a few things. But I shall see that your guard knows to admit you. I am not familiar with that name. Is there something I should know? An extraordinary tale, but I'm afraid I found no such individual residing in the tower when it passed into my care. Mayhap we can revisit that mystery another time. For now, I think it best that we focus on the present.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private. I have much to explain.
Shit.
Now,
fucking touchpad, man.
Of your fellow scions.
I apologize.
To put it simply, they are here in the first. Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the first, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence, and thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time.
Convenient.
As for your companions, however, Yustola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5.
3 years? And 5 years? Jesus.
Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the first for almost a year. My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well. As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch. Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return. We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no-man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future, that which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the first was rejoined with the source. This collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes. Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die. And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least? Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
The Crystarium boasts a number of residential districts, but I have been informed that a room has just become available at the Pendants, which as it turns out is perfect. Our path there will take us past the markets, and I was hoping to give you my own introduction to their wares. Come along. Wait, where are you? Oh, there you are.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here. Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough. Each nation once minted its own coins, but was all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you.
Huh. Nice.
But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your homeworld. Avan Kerm Sin?
Yes, I'm here! Of course I'm here! What amusements do you have for me today?
My dear Feo U, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine lady is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from her home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift? How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin. But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails? Just as I thought! Then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isne Fis, and you my Snay Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other. Raise your hand. Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
Mayhap a message to your friends in the source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Consider it done.
As you heard, that was Feo Ul of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the crystarium. Right, we were going to organise a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
As a result of your pact with Fae, you will now have access to delivering Murgle's market boards and summoning bells while in the first. Just out of curiosity. Okay. I can craft now. I can do Hands of Disciple. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Ah, there you are. I was just finalizing the matter of your accommodation. You'll have a private room here at the Pendants for the duration of your stay, to make use of as you see fit. When you are ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings. Pray rest and recuperate, and we shall reconvene in the ocular anon. I believe that covers all the practical concerns. Thank you for answering my call, Yo. We are denied the comforting blanket of night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. A pleasure to meet you, miss, and welcome to your new home at the Pendants. Your room is ready if you'd care to retire. You.
I know you. You're the warrior of light from the source. What? Did you just... You can hear me? Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The Warrior of Darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the source. A daft one, looking back.
Ardbert.
If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source and tried to hasten their goddamned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the First. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrant. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness. Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood? 100 years. 100 long years. My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that? You were summoned to save the First. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who tried to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
Okay. What time is it? Alright, I'm just gonna take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest. I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Sirens' whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Norvrand, the only area to be spared the flood of light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. And to the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness. For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armorang. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe. So, will it be Calicia or Armorang? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you've made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
Ready to depart to Areg? Alize will be overjoyed to see you safe. I know she was particularly concerned for your well-being. She, impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her summoning was, repeatedly. I only hope that my part in sending you to her will garner me some measure of forgiveness. Here, this is a letter of introduction addressed to a man named Cassard, the master of the merchant caravan. There are a few people who know the ways of the desert as well as he does. Find him at the Amaro launch and he will see that you reach your destination. You'll visit Alphanode and Kaluza then. Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the far west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here is a letter of introduction. Present it to Sez Jamia, the master of beasts of Tanamos Rookery, and he will take care of you. When you see Alphanode, be sure to pass on my warmest regards. Your first order of business will be to reunite with Alphanode and Alize. In so doing, the predicament here in Norvelt should become abundantly clear. As for communications with the source, Feo Ayo will gladly serve as your messenger. If needs be, however, you yourself should be capable of making the journey between worlds. The device there will serve as a portal. Simply touching a hand to its surface will transport you to the location of the beacon I left at the base of the tower, in theory at least. If you come along looking for work, I might have a spot for another guard. Oh, a friend of the Exarch, hoping to meet someone in our Amareg, are you? Then I shall be your guide. I was about to set off for our outpost there, as a matter of fact, so we can leave right away, assuming you have everything you need. All set. Then off to the unforgiving sands we go.
Areng. From this parched earth, the nation of Nabath, Areng, once rose. When I journeyed here, long ago, I spoke with a sun-weathered elder. He told me Areng meant majestic land in the language of his people. And so it might still be, were it not for the light's unrelenting onslaught.
No matter how many times I come here, the cold never fails to catch me off guard. The sky may be as bright as in the scorching hours of day, but it gets brisk enough to make you shiver. Now, the Exarch's letter said I was to take you to the inn at Journey's Head, which is where Alizé's friend of yours is staying. But that's a fair old distance, so I propose we make a stop in Mordsog to break up the trek, allowing me to attend to some business, and you to enjoy the local hospitality. Sounds good? Alright, you lot, I'm off, and I'd better not see the goods covered in sand when I get back. Right, we head southwest, straight as an arrow. Oh, ah. Stop here a moment. This is your first visit to Areg, is it not? Before you cross the river of sand, you need to turn around and feast your eyes on that. They built them big, didn't they? That's Quarl Sharl, a fortress meant to protect the northern reaches of Nabath Arag. Seeing what was left behind, I believe it when they say it was once one of Norvind's mightiest nations. At least until the flood came along. Great chunks of Nabath Arag lands were lost to the light, its great city included. The few who survived didn't see much point in staying, most of them anyway. No, not many choose to come here these days, not with everything in ruins. Even that hulking great fortress has become little more than an armor roost for me and my caravan. But not everywhere is as deserted as this place. Just wait until you see more. So let's press on, shall we? Oh, the music is top notch in this expansion. Here we are, Moke Soak by Blessed Shadow. I love this town. Morkso, not just full of Mord, but Humes and all manner of others too. It has long been a refuge for folk displaced by the flood, so the population is nothing if not diverse. Oh, have you met a Mord before? They might look like shifty little blighters, but a more welcoming lot you could never wish to meet. Speaking of which, we should pay our respects to Master Gen. I'll go ahead and let him know we've arrived. Okay.
Master Gengen, this is the friend of the Exarch I was telling you about.
Very good, very good. Though friend or no, all are welcome in Mord Sook.
Sook is Mordish for city. As things stand, this souk boasts the largest and busiest marketplace in all Armorang. You'll find ore from the mines here, of course, but all manner of other things too, many of them rare. As I told you before, not many visit Armorang by choice, but Mord Sook's a different story. Merchants come from miles around to purchase the relics the Mord dig up.
Aye, that they do. For Mord do not dismiss the spoils of the earth. We clean them and polish them and reveal to the world their true value. That is why they come here, come from far away, come with much money. And so our souk is always busy, busy, busy. No such thing as a thing no one needs.
You say that every time, Master Gengen. Some sort of family motto, wasn't it? Or perhaps a Mord philosophy. for which we should all be very grateful. Would that everyone was so willing to take in refugees regardless of race or creed. Now then, if you intend to spend any time here, you'll want to gain the trust of the locals. And there's a little custom all newcomers are expected to observe.
The cracking of the coin purse. You buy one thing from the market. Price can be low or high, just as long as you buy.
As the good Maud says, in fact, the Exarch sent a little something to cover this very expense. A Verbert gold piece, no less. The first I've held in years.
Verbert gold? Real Verbert gold?
Here, newcomer, crack your coin purse with me.
Oh no, you want my goods, newcomer. I have jars and pots all smooth and shiny. Over here!
Come and look!
You buy, you buy?
Enough of that! Come, I say! This one must still journey through the barrens. Nothing bulky, nothing heavy, no pots. Nothing better for the road than a full belly. Spend that piece at Ronron's place, yes? Eat the 3 before you leave.
Run shop is best for eating. Crack your coin purse and gorge on the delicious delicacies. A full Verberte honor seems a bit rich for buying a dented pan or a bowl of worms. Did the Exarch lose to you at cards or something? Welcome to Ronron's Traveler. I have wares to empty your purse and fill your belly. Take your time, stare and sniff before you choose, but no drilling on the merchandise, yes? Browse Ronron wares, you may move the camera and zoom in. That's my ever-burning bounty made with the best parts of the lizard. Cured with special spicy spices. Some find the smell challenging, but it'll warm up on chilly desert nights. Wait. Oh, you like those chewy skewers. I find small frogs hiding under rocks, spear them with a stick, and roast them over a fire. Crackly on the outside, gooey on the inside, perfect for snacking. I call that mush loaf. The middle is stuffed with bittersweet cactus fruit, so even if the bread dries out, it's still moist inside. Keeps you going in the heat. Everyone's favorite plump white worm slathered in honey. Once you eat a glazed wiggler, you'll never want any other treat. They all look tasty, yes? Which to choose, which to choose. Chewy, a quick, easy meal to carry you across the desert. You have the gold. And done. One Corborite honor buys you 65 skewers. Or eat them all at once. I ate them all at once. What an appetite, what a belly, a new legend is born in Morwood Slope. Consider your corn purse cracked. I am pleased to accept your custom, and Gen will be pleased that you honored ours. Keeping the merchandise down, yes, no returns. I am honored to have been chosen. Go to Gen, let him know that your coin purse has been most decidedly cracked. I've never seen anyone eat so much of Run's cuisine in one sitting. You've a stronger stomach than I. I was watching from here, yo. You honored our custom and with great relish. You will always be welcome in Morwood, so if you need anything in Reg, we are here to provide. Cracking the coin purse is only the beginning. We have wares for every occasion, so feel free to spend till your heart's content. You have courage, my friend. Run's wares are more exotic than harmful, but I don't envy you the bellyache you have on the morrow. Right, now that you've eaten, I expect you're eager to get back to the road. Would you mind if we delayed our departure a touch? I have a few deals left to close before I can conclude my business here in Morgscope. Oh, offering your service, are you? Well, an assistant would certainly help hurry things along. I have a receipt here for some goods that need picking up from the market, all properly paid for. You just need to do the lifting and carrying. I'll go ahead and take care of the last minute haggling then. See you in a bit. Hungry again already. You have some stomach, friend, but I wouldn't eat those. If you're handling Cassard's porter work, you've come to the wrong place. He has no outstanding orders with my shop. Buying supplies at the right price is a simple enough task. Transporting the damn things, on the other hand, is a different matter entirely. You came with Cassard, yes? Good, good. I can finally stop thinking about that sack. Please take your prickly purchases. Lift with your legs and not with your back. Hey, no touching. That merchandise is spoken for. You couldn't possibly change your mind with a better offer. What? Cassard sent you? Why didn't you say so? I wouldn't dream of selling his goods to a higher bidder. Oh, no, no, no. Nabatharag relics, wasn't it? All packed in that box there. Handle with care. Ooh, lovely, lovely pots. Wait, what? No, no, no. This is Bum Bum's private worm stash, not for sale. Keep away from my private worm stash. Get back, I say. Oh. Hands off, that water is for Milmil's footpath, unless you have coin or barter. Oh, you work for Cassard? Momo has his antiques all boxed up and ready for transport. Of all the things we trade here in Wargsung, Soak, nothing is more important than water. Good for drinking and good for foot baths. Foot baths first, drink later. Okay. Gassard sent you, did he? Right, yes. What kind of ore was it again? Iron ore. Of course, that would explain this box I have here. It's all yours. Now then, where was I going again? Don't tell me you've been around the entire market already. Aye, that's a lot. Alright, good work. And quick work too, considering you've not set foot in this place before. I thought you wanted to sit in the city like the Exarch, but something tells me you're not a stranger to visiting strange lands. Unfortunately, your efficiency presents something of a problem. I'd hoped to conclude all my business before you return, but it seems there's been some confusion over one of the orders I placed. I'll have to drag in my middleman and sort this mess out. I'm sorry to make you sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Cassard, it feels like an age since I last saw you. Well, if it isn't the lovely Tesseline, it has been a while, but your timing couldn't be better. This lady was on her way to meet with Alize. I'm supposed to be taking her to your corner of the desert, but a misplaced order has commanded my attention. Wait, I know who you are. Alize has told me so much about you. You're Yo, aren't you? I knew it. How wonderful to meet you in the flesh after hearing all those stories. I'm Tesseline. I work as a carer in the inn, and I've gotten to know Alize quite well since she took up guard duties there. Do you want me to take over as Yo's guide, Cassard? My shopping's all done and packed for the road, so it would be no trouble. That would be a great help, thank you. Well, it looks like you'll be able to head straight out after all. My caravan and I will be in the area for a while yet. Seek me out when you've had your fill of, egg, and I'll send you back to the Castarium. Take care with your desert crossing and good fortune with meeting your friend. I'll be around when you're ready to head back to the Exarch. Alize has been desperate to see you, Yo, so let's get you to her sooner rather than later. The inn isn't too far to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. We just need to swing around the ridge, then head south. Come on, I'll get my supplies together and meet you outside. All set. Oh, I should probably mention the wildlife. While most of them will leave you be if you keep your distance, the local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. Coyotes. I can usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I may have loaded myself down with too many bargains today. Do you think you can handle any beasts that try to make a meal of us? I thought you might. Alize was always saying how much you, let's get going, shall we? Sorry, there wasn't much time to shout a warning. Were you bitten? Those things can be nasty. And yet, hardly a match for you, it seems. I'd always thought Alize was strong, but in her mind she was never. Now it makes sense. Well, we should push on. It might be best if you scout ahead and clear out any coyotes that have our scent. I'll wait here so you can fight without any distractions. Oh, look at the little animal. Okay. Ooh, I love this battle theme. Great battle theme. Alright. Oh, thank goodness you're back. I could not hear the howling and snarling from here. I could hear the howling and snarling from here. Frightful creatures. Let's hope the rest have seen your handiwork and know to avoid us now. I need to get these supplies back to the inn. This is it. Thanks to you, I didn't have to drop my shopping even once. Come to think of it, I'm glad I didn't make the trip alone. It seems you ended up escorting me. I'll have to repay the favor somehow, but first let's head inside, shall we? Welcome to the inn at Journey's Head. You might be our first visitor from the Crystarium since Alize arrived. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carers. You don't know? I don't think I met anyone besides Alize who was so unfamiliar with our situation here. Most folk have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. I might leave out something obvious, so it may be best to have Alize give you the full explanation. Now, where is she? I think she might be out on patrol. You could wait, I suppose, but why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first, so you might be able to catch her there. It's not far. Head out to the south side and you'll soon see it. I'll stay behind in case she comes back while you're gone. Alize is nowhere to be seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the ground, and they look to be about the right size. The small footprints lead to the northwest. The footprints continue on to the northwest. The footprints curve around to the west. There are more tracks here, but they end in a mess of disturbed sand.
Get back here!
Is that... It can't be.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about. I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner. How are you? We've fought them to a standstill, then? The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters. That great wall of white is a remnant of the flood. 100 years ago, the balance in the first tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects. But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations. Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the flood. Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach. But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether, and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct, that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason. Which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
It's just a matter of time, more for some, less for others. Those patients will all become monsters in the end. And to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society, and exiled here to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say about this hellish place is that it has served me well as a training ground. Tessling and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you, while you help me finish my patrol, of course. Okay, what time is it? 2.5 hours streamed. 10 minutes till 12. Alright. I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one, probably later today, probably real soon, honestly. Peace, and thank you for watching.